Okay, I'm gonna make part two because my video accidentally, I was trying to take care of some business and I guess I hit the conclusion button on the other one. And so, like I was saying, that African Americans, my people, my people, we were raised differently to focus on what we have to do to liberate ourselves, but we don't ever stand in the way of other people who are trying to find their liberation. We don't ask to be in the parade. We don't ask to be the center of attention. We don't ask to be included in on their celebration. We just do it behind, we do it in our own way. We celebrate in our own way. Not saying that we wouldn't join if people asked us to, especially if we have allies, people who are not racist. You would be surprised, when we don't join like that. But once you show us your integrity and your trusted ally, that's a different story. But back to what I was saying was, there were some people that were upset because they were not included in the celebration. And it goes back to what I said, how we were raised. When other people are celebrating their history, we don't stand in the way. We don't ask to be involved. We just thank God and acknowledge God for freeing those people from their oppression. And so that's how I would speak of it for Juneteenth, because that's how we are. So the same way we respect other people's culture, we ask not to appropriate other people's culture. We ask not to take over, be at the center of attention of other people's culture. We just naturally require the same thing. That being said, even though they were not included at Kendrick Lamar's concert, that does not mean that we do not see Latino people, especially Mexicana people, as people who are not struggling, especially when it comes to the colonization of America. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, this is what I'm about to say is not to the people I addressed earlier, not the Latina Mexican family, not them. This is to the people that want to come over into America, basically take on, and we are not married to America. We were forced into something that we did not want to be a part of. And I'm not trying to call it a marriage because it's not a marriage. But what it's akin to is an abusive man who has abused his wife for many years. And then he's ready to have a mistress because he feels like he needs to have more accomplished because he's not accomplishing himself. So he needs another woman. Even though he abuses his wife, she's good. She doesn't want to be enslaved to him, but she's so terrified, she just does what he says. So let's just say the mistress are people that are coming over to America, and they're of every race, and they're coming in feeling so enriched by the cheating husband that they, the mistress, then want to turn around and be abusive to the ex-wife. And that is wrong, because the new wife, who was the mistress, does not know everything that the other people went through, African American. They don't know it. If they did know it, they would not be in a rush to be over here in America. They would not be in a rush to come over here and think they're going to succeed in America. They wouldn't do none of that. What they would do is study and learn what's going on and not listen to propaganda. What they would do is, instead of trying to become the bully because America, the abusive husband, is gaslighting his mistress into believing that she's the one that's going to make him better, just like he said to African Americans in a forceful, enslaved way, that we're going to make America great. which is an oxymoron, because we have made a great nation, but the nation or the organization over the nation is not great, and it won't ever be great, because it needs, like a narcissist, it needs supply. And so if we had people coming over here, and instead of just automatically believing what the colonist says and then attacking us, because what the colonist is doing is getting the mistress to come in to try to destroy any trace of his old marriage, so that he can take credit for what he didn't build. And instead of people understanding that, I'm going to say this. I don't know how true it is. I'm going to say hypothetically speaking, but I believe it's more true than hypothetical. If the people that came over here would realize, instead of coming in and beating on African American people and maybe listen to what we're saying or we have said, they themselves would not be putting themselves in a dangerous predicament, because what they're doing is they're escaping their homeland, yet their homeland was destroyed by the corporation of America. Let me say that again. They think that they are fleeing their homeland, but their homeland was destroyed by the corporation of America, and the American corporation, not the people, their laws. So they go in and destabilize many people from their homelands. And then they try to promise them something that even the corporation doesn't have to give, because the corporation is like a drug addict. It needs new supply. It needs endless lies. It needs endless money. And it's forever in debt. And so what they do is they go in and terrorize other people in their countries, get them to run to America, and then the corporation of America then goes back into their homeland and takes over, taking all their resources. And so when you have people who are here in America who do not understand the importance of Juneteenth, and who are not happy for people who have tried to manage to break that chain of enslavement, the people that are the new mistress are in danger. Because the more you say to your husband, now your new husband, that you want to be the best wife you can be, you want to do everything for him that his ex-wife didn't do, all you were telling the narcissist is that you are ready to be abused beyond abuse. You're letting the narcissist know how strong you are so that it can overwork you and underpay you. Instead of just respecting Juneteenth, you, just like affirmative action with the Asians, affirmative action, you come over here, and without all of these things, without Juneteenth, you wouldn't be over here. Without affirmative action, you would not be over here. So you literally come over here from your land that's already tore up. And instead of helping the people that built this country to make it out of slavery, you then want to come in and tear up our history. You want to take over it. You want to appropriate it. You want to make it into something that doesn't belong to you. So because of that, you think you may be hurting certain groups of people in America. All you are doing is telling the colonists that you are ready to be abused. You're getting his mouth watered for the abuse of you. We know what he tells other people to be racist towards us. We know this stuff. All racists he tells go out there and tell them people be racist towards us. And you know why? It's because he does not want his nasty little evil secrets coming out about him. He wants to take credit for a house he didn't build. He wants to get rid of the previous occupants and say he built it and it belongs to him, so he can bring his new mistress in. And she believes it was off the merit of his own hard work. It's not, and it wasn't, and it won't ever be. So when you put yourself into the place of a misguided mistress and think that you're going to abuse the person that was enslaved to him before you were there, you are telling the devil that you are willing and ready to go to hell for the devil. And the person that was talking about Juneteenth, these men, the video was so insulting. They didn't know anything about African American culture. They truly didn't know nothing about Juneteenth. They didn't know none of that stuff. They were just like, you know why they call Americans dumb? Because people like that come over to America and they soak up the ignorance. They get fat off the ignorance, off the greed. They think they've made it to the promised land, and all they made it is to a land of slaughter. But they are so uneducated the way they speak about stuff. They know nothing about our history. They don't know what's on. They want to show up to a place. They don't know who's on the itinerary, what's on the menu, how is the show going to be conducted. They don't have none of the director notes, none of that. They're totally from the outside trying to come in and shut things down. So me and other people that know this, we know why you're upset with not being the center of attention, because you want to shut things down. You want to be Master Boss's new favorite cracker or somebody to whoop people with. But what you don't understand is, even though they refuse to pay us reparations, which they owe us, is our money, and they want to pay everybody else with our money, even if they don't want to pay reparations, they're going to pay for everything else, including what they don't pay us. They're going to pay for it. And all those that align themselves with the devil are going to reap the karma and the chaos of what the devil does. The Corporation of America wants people to be ignorant and stupid. They want people to look at American citizens as dumb and stupid. It's not by coincidence. It's all by design. So they can keep us from finally, or not even us, other people that come over here from finally waking up and getting rid of the evil. But the problem is that when you are somebody who has a totally different culture, and no one's saying that you can't learn African American history, but you cannot be the dictator or director of it. No, you cannot. No, you cannot appropriate it. No, you cannot gentrify it. You cannot do that. Because then you are taking on the face of the oppressor. And when God's judgment hits America, you and the oppressor will be the ones to reap all of your karma. So when people are celebrating Juneteenth, it's not saying we don't respect Latina people or we don't have respect for other cultures, although what history shows and what's on the internet, they don't have respect for us. They're racist towards us. They're more racist towards us than we were ever even taught to be, on guard with them. Now we're starting to see it. But no, you cannot take over Juneteenth. And when you come in the door with an attitude of that you have to be served immediately by people who have been oppressed, you then become a tyrant and a bully. You become an entitled, arrogant, narcissistic bully that is a part of the oppression. So people who are fighting for liberation and celebrating liberation, you would not be invited regardless, because you're coming in trying to be an oppressor. You would not be invited regardless because you are coming in the door being an oppressor. And don't think you're going to come through the gates trying to hide your oppression. We see it. We see right through it. You won't even be invited in to be oppressive. So just out of respect, Because we don't disrespect Cinco de Mayo. We don't disrespect St. Patrick's Day. We don't disrespect no one's holiday. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. We don't disrespect nobody's holiday. We don't disrespect other people's history, because we weren't there to fight it. We in our own battle. We have our own history to uphold. So we're not looking to be the center of attention of someone else's cultural celebrations. Although just know that we do, if you are a good person and you are oppressed, we do hope that you can celebrate and enjoy the fruits of your labor. But people who are not from America, who were not enslaved, should not have any say-so on affirmative action, should not have any say-so on Juneteenth, and should absolutely not ever have any say-so on reparations, which is money that is not yours. It's not your money. Realistically, you want to talk about it. African American people, and especially ones who are mixed with Native American who are enslaved, we own this country. We own this country. Everything that you see before you was built from our hard labor. And I'm going to tell you why I know for sure we built this country. Because even when we tried to build within our own separate spaces, guess what the colonists did? Came in and destroyed Oscarville, destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma, destroyed Seneca Village. Just imagine if they had not tore up what we had, you would see for yourself just face to face, who built this country, who built this nation. And it wasn't other people. So that's like if you being from Mexico, or you being from another place, or you being from China, or wherever you are, if people from another land came into your country and tried to, excuse me for that, people are just doing too much. If they've tried to come into your country and dictate your ways, let's just say it, it's not going to happen, because y'all already racist. You don't allow other people to come into your country and dictate. So if you don't allow people to come into your home space and dictate your home space, what makes you think you have the right to go into somebody's land somewhere else across the oceans and dictate to them how they're supposed to celebrate their culture? You're evil. You're unhinged evil. That's what that is. You're a narcissist. You're a drug addict. You have addiction issues. You have mental illness going on. Leave Juneteenth and leave African American people and African American people who are mixed with Native American. Leave us alone. We don't belong to you. And if you think you're going to come in being that oppressive, bully mistress, you're going to be paying alimony to us too. You're going to be paying us our alimony for when we divorce him. You're going to be paying the reparations and alimony as well. So watch how you talk to people. Watch how you interact with folks, and watch who you try to tear down. Because another thing is, I should have mentioned in the beginning of the video, we always have God on our side. Even when the devil tried to make us believe that we have God on our side. That's how we've gotten this far for so long. God has brought us through, and we still deal with a lot of stuff, but God has his hand on us. So if you want to commit blasphemy, which is an abomination, is unforgivable, you want to go to hell, that's on you. But realize all the effort you do to tear down African American people, especially on Juneteenth or any other day, it's going to backfire on you. And you want to have allies? We and people of integrity and logic do not align ourselves with people who are willing to be oppressors towards others. So, no, you cannot join us. No, you cannot sit with us. No, you cannot inherit any of our inheritance. No. Now, if there's Latino people who are Mexicana that are not racist, That's our kin. We can call them our kin. That'll be our kin because we share DNA with them. But we do not expect for them to be racist. They're racist. If they're racist towards us, they are not our kin. And even though I say that term kin, do not confuse it. You still do not have authority or permission over our legacy as African Americans. This is ours. That's like someone living next to their neighbor and their neighbor's going in their house, taking all their stuff, using up all their appliances, not paying any rent, not paying any bills, not even paying for the place itself, but their neighbor is coming in to try to dictate another person's house. That is absurdity. That is clownery. That is buffoonery. That is stupidity. You should be ashamed. You should be embarrassed. Especially because the way you're trying to treat us, we have not treated you that way. And don't think because you weren't invited does not mean that we feel like you are less than worthy. What we're saying is, because we still are going through oppression and slavery to this day, we have to be strong within ourselves. So if you don't like us being strong within ourselves, that means that you want us to be weak. You want us to be watered down. You want us to be taken advantage of from outsiders, and we're not going to do it. Especially, and this is not a clause to what I just said, but we still are owed reparations. And once we are paid our reparations, you still have no claim on us because reparations is our money. It's not yours. It's our money. You got to gripe with America and you've been mistreated by America, you're Latina. Guess what? Your gripe is with Spain. Your gripe is with Spain, not America, not us. Your gripe is with whatever European country that suppressed your people. You have to go to them and ask them for the appropriate stuff. But us in America, we were subjugated by Englishmen, Frenchmen, Spaniards too. So my thing is, I don't know how to say it. Stop sticking your nose where it's not wanted or invited to. And I'm not saying we have some shady stuff going on behind closed doors. We don't. What we're saying is, just like everybody has their ancestral burial grounds, respect our ancestral burial grounds. Juneteenth is us celebrating our ancestors and the freeing of them and respecting their burial ground. One thing you learn about African American people and people who are melanated in general, we are very spiritual people. Those who are tuned with God, we're very spiritual, so we have no need to be ungodly towards the next person. Now, let me say this. Just because we're not ungodly, that does not mean that God does not give us the authority to trample on the head of the serpent and trample on the tail of a scorpion. Meaning God gives us the authority to protect ourselves from vultures. And also God giving us protection for us to protect ourselves. We have every right to celebrate Juneteenth on our own. And if you would have asked a little bit more kindly, instead of trying to be a white oppressor or white adjacent to a white oppressor, maybe you would have got the invite next year. But because we see your true colors and how you're coming in off rip, once we see your true colors, we see you for who you are, and that's who you are. That's not going to change with us. We know you're not going to change. And even if you do change, we're not changing our opinion of you. Because you come in with a really hard, wrong, and strong, wrong, hard opinion of us. Where you feel entitled, like you have every right coming from a country that's been destroyed by your own government to come in and try to oppress us. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? You understand how crazy that sounds? How insane and mentally ill and unhinged evil that is? You can't gaslight a person with reason and logic. You can't gaslight the truth. If you feel that way, You need to go get mental health. You need to go get your brain checked. You need to go and see what's got you in a funk and what's got you on your way to hell. You need to see that for yourself. We can't help you see it. If our struggle, protesting, fighting in these wars and being 2 wars, or maybe, I don't know, I've heard of 2, might be more than that, might be more, different wars, and still being oppressed in our struggles, and you don't see why we are the way we are, that's on you. It's not our fault. It's not our duty to educate you. It's not our duty to hold your hand, especially when you're trying to bite us. No. That's foolery. That's nonsense. The math doesn't math. That's not algebra. That's not calculus. If you operate on the type of logic, you will fail at everything in life. And life has to do with mathematics. So you will fail at life with that mentality. And let me say this for all those people that feel they got the devil in them so strong they can bully people. The more you bully God's chosen people and those he chooses to protect and from oppression, the more the demons in hell are going to torture you for eternity. The demons in hell are waiting with intense thirst to torture you. And the reason they want you to be so evil and think that nothing's going to happen to you or get away with it is because they want to make you ignorant of hell. They want you to do as much evil on earth so that when you're in hell, there's no excuse for you. You get what you've been putting out. They're not going to be modest on you. They're not going to go easy on you because evil doesn't rest. It continues and its mission is to destroy. That's why you have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting against it. Sit down, Poo-Poo. You have to fight against it. And those that are weak to the pull and the temptation of evil are going to be the main ones being abused by demons in hell. So holy people don't have time to address you or talk to you or to encourage you or to teach you anything. If you don't have enough history of your own where you've been oppressed, we can't teach you nothing. You're not going to learn unless you go through the same thing. And even some people have been going through that. And they come out to be bullies, just like the people over in, I ain't gonna say their name, but you know who they are. The ones that were hit with Hitler. And now they're attacking Gaza. But you know the bigger picture is that the Arabic nations are not innocent of slave trade too. So it's going to be a big old catastrophe once it all falls apart. And the more you try to align yourself with evil, once all of the evil falls apart, you're going to be lost in the hell mess. No one's going to save you. You're not going to be included in heaven, asking to be the center of attention. No, you're going to be in hell. You're not going to be included in heaven. So learn right now some balance, some respect, and dignity for other people who have been through a lot. Because if you do not, Juneteenth is going to be the least of your worries, because you will not be liberated in hell when the demons are torturing you nonstop. That's what you should be concerned about. Be concerned about hell. And that goes to any nation of people that feel entitled to become colonistic oppressors. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. And when you have to pay your tab and your debt, it's not going to be us the ones. It's not going to be us or we have to be the ones to help you pay it. You're going to pay it on your own. Because you were so bold about being that mistress and being entitled. Well, when your husband goes bankrupt, after we get our alimony, after we take him to the cleaners to get everything he owes us, after that, you're going to be bankrupt with him. And you have to pay back everything that he owes. His debt is going to be your debt. Don't be so eager to be the mistress that marries the cheater.